Insiders at a Long Island jail are talking exclusively to the I-Team tonight.
They blame the deaths of several inmates on a private company paid to do health care behind bars. As Chris Glorioso learned, the Nassau County Jail is sticking with its health provider despite claims of gross neglect.
He's a prisoner, and they don't really matter.
They put him back in the cell, locked up at 10 o'clock, and left him there to die.
They are two families who lost loved ones in the Nassau County Jail.
He never came out.
And they blame a private medical company, Armor Correctional Health, for failing their relatives.
All right, he did have problems, but he was a human being and he was very close to us.
Inmate Tony Marinaccio died in May after his family says he suffered cardiac arrest in his jail cell. His mother and sister have filed a notice of claim against Armor, alleging it took more than an hour and 15 minutes to get Marinaccio the proper hospital treatment. That's despite health records that show the 53-year-old convict had a pre-existing heart condition.
He purposely went to a doctor and requested an EKG 3 days before he went to jail.
Everybody's medical needs should be attended to properly.
Citing medical privacy laws, Armor would not comment on specific inmate deaths, but the company sent the I-Team a statement saying no jury has ever found Armor guilty of medical malpractice, and healthcare providers in the corrections setting are subject to significant and frequently unfounded allegations. But family of inmates aren't the only ones alleging poor medical care. The I-Team spoke exclusively to a former Armor nurse who is familiar with Marinaccio's death.
They didn't do an EKG on him. They put him back in a cell. An hour later, he was face down in a cell.
She wanted to remain anonymous, concerned speaking out would jeopardize her new job. But she says Marinaccio had complained of chest pains hours before he collapsed. She told us the jail medical provider has a pattern of cutting costs and delaying sending inmates to the hospital.
Medications are being cut. Supplies are being cut. Positions are not being there.
Parents of inmate John Gleason also say Armor delayed the treatment for their son. Gleason came to the Nassau jail with a condition called angioedema. It caused his neck to swell up behind bars. Gleason's parents intend to sue Armor, claiming medical staff waited 8 hours to get their son to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead.
Armor needs to be held accountable.
I can't understand how no one's stepping up and saying, well, we have to make some changes.
Gleason's dad, a retired firefighter, says Nassau County should follow New York City's lead. After a string of deaths at Rikers Island, Mayor de Blasio said he will let the contract with another jail medical provider expire. But Armor appears to be in no danger of losing business here in Nassau County. Despite the deaths behind bars when Armor's contract recently came up, the county sheriff failed to get bids from other medical companies. It's a move the district attorney has questioned.
The legislature was left with renewing a contract or having no health care provider in jail. That's a situation that we shouldn't be in. It's problematic when contracts aren't bid out.
Acting District Attorney Madeline Singas is now looking into whether the county's deal with Armor violates contracting rules. That's part of an unrelated review of dozens of county contracts initiated in April.
Very simply put, we are allotted a certain amount of money to run our government.
4 years ago, County Executive Ed Mangano said hiring Armor to do health care behind bars would save taxpayers $7 million. Armor says cost is never considered when providing inmate health care. The firm says inmates get their medication and treatment promptly. But in 2012, state regulators saw a lack of urgency when they called Armor's treatment of another inmate grossly negligent health care. That inmate suffered chest pains, but regulators said his death may have been prevented if Armor had given him timely and appropriate care. Armor disputed that conclusion, but the Marinaccio family says that cardiac death sounds too much like what happened to Tony.
I believe that they could have saved my brother. I really, truly believe with all my heart that he could have been saved.
Marinaccios say they not only plan to sue Armor, but also Nassau County, which could put taxpayers on the hook for any potential wrongful death payout. The county has not commented specifically on this case, but told us Armor has provided professional health services that have enhanced safety and security. For the I-Team, I'm Chris Glorioso.